Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today's video, is going to be part 2 of my Springfield, Ohio history. I don't know if you can see me very well because my light's in the back. I don't have very good lighting in this corner, so that's why it's lit up. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is some stuff I found on the actual site. I will put the site in the link below, or description below, excuse me. Apparently I can't speak. And that is too much light. Okay, now that that's a little settled, let's see where to start from. Okay, Big Darby, they were transporting goods on horses. This was around 1801, maybe a little earlier than that. They also draw their wagons across with ropes. And I cannot freaking read this. Really? There we go. Anyway, to prevent them from upsetting, Mr. Foos, in the same year of his arrival, built the first house on the south side of Buck Creek, and the first within the original town plat, directly opposite the present National Hotel. It was a log house and was opened by Mr. Foos. What kind of a name is Mr. Foos, first off? As a tavern in June 1801, and he continued it as such until 10th of May 1814. This was the first public house, and Mr. Foos, the first landlord in this place. The total number of houses at the date of Mr. Smallwood's arrival in 1804 was about a dozen, all built of logs. They were situated as follows: one near the southeast corner of Main and Market Streets, and in which G.B. Fields had a cabinet shop, the first of the kind in Springfield. Opposite was a log copper shop owned by John Reed, a log house on the northeast corner of said streets, which was occupied as a public house at different times by sundry persons, the first of whom was an old colored man by the name of Tony, yeah, I'm butchering that name. Another where Mr. Reinhardt's row now stands, which was occupied by a Mr. Stowe as a grocery establishment. Okay, I'm not going to read all of that, but I will go on and continue on. Okay, so at this period, there was a small valley of a few rods west of the present Presbyterian Church, through which Mill Run flowed. I don't know what the hell that is, which was crossed by a foot log. The west bank of the run, for several rods back, was exceedingly muddy and miry. Again, I'm probably butchering that word. The east bank was quite steep. There were also quite a hill. What? Who in the hell wrote this? There was also quite a hill and one or two springs where Murray's Row was now situated. Near the National was quite another elevation, and a little farther east and farther down. Okay, so there was not a school built at that time. There was eventually a school built, but the church it was basically a log cabin built by, holy crap, where is that? Well, before I get to that, because that's a little farther down and I'm just being dumb, the first frame house in Springfield was built by Samuel Simonton in 1806, as well as on the well-known Buckeye Corner. Apparently I can't speak today. On the 6th of May this year, a tornado about 30 yards wide passed through this place and so injured this frame house that the owner was obligated to reduce its height to 1 story. I'm not entirely sure as to what year this site was made on, so don't quote me. It's probably not really on this year, but it's probably on a different year. Okay, so the first school was opened as early as 1806 by Nathal Pinkard. Sorry if I'm butchering that. Anybody who knows how to pronounce that, please tell me, because I don't. In a log cabin near the northeast corner of Main and Market Streets. The first preaching was held in Mr. Foo's Tavern as early as 1803, first by Reverend Thomas as Baptist minister, and afterwards by ministers of another I can't say that word. You should already know what it is. The first church organization was that of the Methodist Episcopal. Yeah, I butchered that too. With between a dozen and 18 members in the fall of 1805, or as Mr. Foos thinks, in 1809. They held their meetings in Pinkerton's... I don't know why I'm saying Pinkerton. That's not the way you say it. Pinkard Schoolhouse. And Reverend Sale and Cobbler of the Miami M.E. Circuit, which included Springfield within its bounds, so on and so forth, etc. Not going into that. The first church edifice was built in 1811. The denomination was called New Lights or Christians on the south part of the lot now, occupied by the hotel west of Mill Run and south of Main Street. Anyone who I know, family-wise, or people from Springfield will know what I'm talking about. Anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, there's such thing as a Google. You could probably look it up. I haven't quite looked it up yet. I will try and find pictures to put in with my video, as I do with most of my history videos. Okay, so moving on. The inhabitants were frequently disturbed by alarms of Indians coming against them with hostile intentions. That happened everywhere. It wasn't just Springfield. At all such times, the inhabitants assembled at some convenient log houses and kept watch until the alarm went away. In the fall of 1803, a white man named Myers, having been killed near Urbana by one or more strolling Indians, and the assembling of a large number of tribes under Tecumseh. Yeah, so that is basically on the Indian front. Okay, so moving on. In the War of 1812/1813, there were frequent reports of British and Indians about to make an attack on the town, which caused the inhabitants to assemble, blah, blah, blah. So, in other words, a war, whatever. Not really entirely sure as to what's up with that. During the war, large numbers of United States troops passed through this place. Among them was Ball's squadron. Never heard of this guy, not even once. The first postmaster in this place was John Dougherty, who held the office in 1804, and our well-known citizen, James R. Wallace, was the postboy who then brought Great Northwestern Mail on horseback from Cincinnati to Springfield. From 1828 until the era of railroads, the mail was carried in 4-horse coaches. The present postmaster is I. Hendershot, and the prominent mails are now received by railroads. Springfield was the temporary seat of Justice of Champaign County about the year 1806 or 1807, and the first court which I think was a Supreme Court, was held in a 2-story log house, which I do believe stood near what is now the southwest corner of Limestone and High Street. I do believe I know where those 2 streets are. The only case before this court then was that of Robert Rennick for the murder of an Indian for whom a verdict of not guilty was rendered. Interesting stuff, right? Okay, so it's already on like 10 minutes. I don't want to make this too long. So I'm just gonna go and try and find some interesting stuff. I don't think you guys care about the justice of peace, do you? I don't think I do, but just in case you care, the first justice of the peace was elected in the township of Springfield was Squire Mulholland. Yes, mind you, that is one word and is a last name. Who resided west of town near where A. Rupert now has his grist mill. I have no idea who Rupert is. I'll have to look that up again. On the 23rd January 1827, Springfield was incorporated as the town of Springfield and was first elected president. Wait a minute. I'm reading this totally out of order. Jas L. Torbett, Esquire, was first elected president, and S. Henkel, recorder, under its charter. Okay, 1850, February, a city charter was granted by the legislature, and a vote of citizens for its adoption or rejection was taken on the first Monday, blah, blah, blah. Let's see here. There was also a cotton factory built by Maddox Fisher in 1838. In 1809, John Lingle and John Cook built a power mill. The present paper mill on Mill Run, near its junction with Buck Creek, was commenced about the 20th of August, 1927, by Messrs. Blount, Lowry, and Kills. It did not go into operation until June 20, 1828. Okay, I don't want to bore you guys too much, so I'm trying not to make this as boring as possible. I don't care about the churches. I am not a Christian. But I guess I'll be nice. Okay, the churches, the Methodists, the First Presbyterian, Associate Reformed Presbyterian, I don't see what the difference is, Methodist Protestant, organized in 1828, Episcopal, which I can't say, First Baptist, Universalist, Lutheran, German Lutherans, and the High Street Methodist Episcopal. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a hold of my mother and figure out how to say half of these names. There's also a Columbian Street Church, which was built in 1850, and then there was a Catholic one, which is High Street near Spring, built their present edifice in 1850. The Congregational, organized in April 1850, I do believe. Yeah. Moving on. Okay, so the public buildings are courthouse, a market house, blah, blah, blah. Union Hall, warehouses, more warehouses. And last but not least, before I close down this whole video, are the schools, or institutions of learning, as they put it. O.C. High School, the President High School building, was erected in 1834. Let's see. The next one is Wittenberg College, which my sister went to. Was chartered by the legislature of Ohio in winter of 1844 or 1845, actually both, and is located on a tract of land of 25 acres lying north of Springfield. It has an elevated site supplied with good water, finely shaded by sugar and other forest trees. and presenting a fine landscape in every direction. I will be nice and I will upload a picture of what that current school looks like. Mind you, it is very, very large, so all I may be able to upload is like an actual map of the place. The next one is female seminary. Again, I don't know half of these places, so I'm not even going to bother. Greenway boarding school for boys. I have actually been by this building. I do sort of know what it looks like. The cut in the front part of this book, yeah, I'm not going to read that because I think it is talking about a book. The school was commenced by Reverend Chandler Robbins. It is still operational from what I can understand. Yeah, so that is about all I'm going to do. The Greenway School, I think I already read that. That is done. I'm done. Okay, so before I close this off, even though it's getting up to 16 minutes, the literary and benevolent societies, there's Springfield and Lyceum. Yeah, I'm butchering that. The Masons, most places have a Masons area, so sorry, not going into too much detail on that. The Springfield Charter, which is instituted in December of 1851. The Old Fellows, Springfield Lodge number 33, instituted. Why can I not freaking speak today? Instituted October 24th, 1844. Oh my god. Ephraim Lodge, instituted February 25th, 1850. The Mad River Encampment, also done in December 3rd, 1843. Temperance Societies, which is 1845. Temple of Honor, 1847. Social Degree, 1850. Ancient Order of Paradons, Council Number, yeah, I'm not even going to read all that, 1850. That is about, I think, the second to last one. The Clark County branch of Ohio State Medical Society, 1850. Okay. Alright guys, obviously this is like 18 minutes long. I think I'm just going to end this video here. If you want to know any other cities that I could possibly get history on, let me know in the comments below. And I will see you guys next time. Blessed be.